Have you ever stopped to think about what you're eating for breakfast, especially after the age of 60? Maybe you've been following the same morning routine for years, that familiar cup of coffee, and whatever's quick and easy. But here's the thing, what we eat can have a big impact on our health, especially as we get older. If you're like most of us, you probably never imagined that something as simple as breakfast could play a role in how we feel or function throughout the day. But let me tell you, it does. Linda never thought her breakfast choices would land her in the emergency room. For years, she had her routine, a toasted bagel with butter and a cup of coffee. It was quick, it was easy, and it was comforting. But one morning, she found herself clutching her chest, thinking she was having a heart attack. "I thought it was just heartburn," she said, later telling Dr. Williams. "But I couldn't breathe." After a quick check, the doctor confirmed that Linda had experienced a sharp spike in her blood pressure, something triggered by the very food she'd been eating for breakfast without thinking twice. It's a wake-up call for many of us, isn't it? We often think that our breakfast habits are harmless, but as we age, our bodies change, and foods that were once fine can suddenly have unexpected effects. That's what today's video is all about. We're going to talk about 3 common breakfast foods that you might be eating every day, but that could be secretly harming your health after 60. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to make healthier choices that will serve you better as you age. So, grab a seat and let's dive in. The first food to avoid, and I hate to say it, is processed food. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I love my instant oatmeal, and those frozen waffles are so convenient. I get it, they're easy, but here's the problem. These processed foods, which so many of us rely on for a quick breakfast, are often packed with things we just don't need, like salt, preservatives, and hidden sugars. Things that, over time, can raise your blood pressure, hurt your kidneys, and put stress on your joints. Take Charles, for example. He's 72, and his breakfast was just like so many others, instant oatmeal and a packaged pastry. He loved the simplicity, but his doctor showed him his blood pressure numbers, and they were not good. Charles didn't even realize that these foods were doing more harm than good. Processed foods, you see, are often loaded with sodium. For example, an instant oatmeal packet can have around 200 milligrams of salt. Sounds harmless, right? But if you're already struggling with high blood pressure, that extra salt can really make a difference. And let's talk about preservatives. Those frozen waffles might seem like a nice, easy option in the morning, but they're packed with chemicals designed to make them last longer. These preservatives can trigger inflammation in the body, leading to everything from joint pain to digestive issues. And the worst part? Your kidneys aren't as good at handling all that salt after 60. They can get stressed, which only makes things worse. Now, I'm not saying you have to completely give up convenience. You can still have a quick breakfast that's much healthier. Instead of instant oatmeal, try make your own oats the night before. You can even add fresh berries or nuts. If you're craving waffles, why not try a healthier option made from whole grains? These small changes might take a little more effort, but I promise, your body will thank you. Then there's the myth of healthy, processed options. You know the ones I'm talking about, those breakfast bars or drinks that claim to be packed with vitamins and minerals. Sounds good, right? But here's the thing, just because something says it's healthy doesn't always mean it is. Many of these products still contain preservatives and artificial ingredients, which can cause digestive problems, especially as we get older. Dr. Williams always tells his patients, just because it's marketed as healthy doesn't mean it won't harm you. Take breakfast drinks, for example. Many seniors turn to them for convenience, but most of them are filled with artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and other chemicals that your body doesn't need. As we age, our digestive systems become more sensitive to these things, and they can cause bloating, discomfort, and other issues you probably don't need first thing in the morning. Even those whole grain cereals marketed as heart healthy, they might be hiding added sugars and preservatives under complicated names. If you have to grab a dictionary to read the label, that's a good sign it's best to steer clear. Now, I know this all sounds a bit overwhelming, but here's the good news. You don't have to completely change your breakfast habits overnight. Small swaps can make a huge difference. Instead of a processed breakfast drink, try a smoothie made with fresh fruit and spinach. You can even add some protein with a scoop of yogurt or a handful of nuts. Instead of sugary cereals, why not opt for plain yogurt with fresh berries? These small changes don't take much time, but they can help keep your blood pressure stable, improve digestion, and give you more energy throughout the day. But it's not just about avoiding processed foods. The next food to watch out for is something that most of us think is harmless: refined sugar. Now, I know a sweet breakfast can be tempting, but when you're over 60, it can be much more dangerous than you realize. Take Linda, for example. She thought she was making a healthy choice every morning: a glass of orange juice, sweetened yogurt, and a fruit Danish. It wasn't until she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes that she realized just how much sugar she was actually eating. Refined sugar causes your blood sugar levels to spike and crash. And after 60, your body doesn't handle these sugar spikes as well. A typical sugary breakfast, even one that seems healthy, can contain more sugar than 4 candy bars. No wonder we're tired, sluggish, and reaching for more sugar by mid-morning. It's a vicious cycle. Your body isn't able to process sugar the same way it did when you were younger, which can lead to weight gain, mood swings, and even cognitive decline over time. I've heard from so many people who've switched to a low-sugar breakfast and found a huge difference in how they feel. For example, Tom, who used to eat sweetened instant oatmeal with dried fruit every morning. Now, he has plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. The best part? No more mid-morning crashes. He feels energized all morning long. So what's the takeaway? Start with small changes. Swap out that sugary cereal or orange juice for a breakfast that's naturally sweetened with fruit. You might be surprised at how much better you feel just by cutting back on refined sugar. Take, for example, Paul didn't realize how much those fatty foods were affecting his heart health. Here's the thing. After 60, your metabolism slows down and your body doesn't process fats as efficiently as it did when you were younger. Those greasy breakfast options that used to feel like no big deal, they can now have a much bigger impact on your heart and overall energy levels. Let's talk about the real problem: saturated fats. These are the fats found in things like bacon, sausage, and buttery pastries. When you eat too much of them, they raise your bad cholesterol levels and lead to plaque buildup in your arteries, which puts a strain on your heart. For many seniors, this is especially risky because with age, our arteries lose some of their flexibility. The last thing you want is to make it even harder for your heart to pump blood as efficiently as it should. And don't think that just because a food is lighter or seems healthier, it's not causing the same damage. Take those buttery croissants, for example. I know they seem innocent enough, right? They look light and fluffy, but they're packed with saturated fat. In fact, one croissant can contain as much saturated fat as 4 strips of bacon. Crazy, right? That buttery, flaky exterior is hiding a lot more than you'd expect. Dr. Williams has seen it many times. Fatty breakfasts make his patients feel tired and sluggish all day long. That's because high-fat meals take a lot more energy to digest, which leaves your body using up all that energy when it should be focused on everything else you want to do. If you're eating a fatty breakfast, your body is already working overtime first thing in the morning, and that leaves you feeling drained. It's no wonder so many people feel that afternoon slump after a big, fatty breakfast. You just don't have the energy to keep going. But here's the good news. It's not all about cutting out fats entirely. The key is choosing the right kinds of fats. Healthy fats from foods like avocados, nuts, and olive oil can actually help lower your bad cholesterol and reduce inflammation. These healthy fats also help keep you full for longer, which means you're less likely to snack on something unhealthy later in the day. Take Helen, for example. She used to enjoy her daily butter croissants, but after learning about the impact of saturated fats, she made some simple swaps. Instead of butter on her toast, she started using mashed avocado. She switched from eggs and bacon to a poached egg with sliced tomatoes. Helen says she still feels satisfied after breakfast, but now her cholesterol is much better, and she has more energy throughout the day. She doesn't get that mid-morning fatigue anymore, and her digestion has improved, too. So, how can you make these swaps? Start by using avocado instead of butter, or try olive oil when you cook your eggs. You could even try turkey bacon instead of regular bacon, or better yet, Skip the bacon entirely and opt for a poached or boiled egg with some fresh veggies. These small changes make a big difference. Not only will your heart thank you, but you'll notice improvements in your energy, digestion, and overall health. By now, you might be thinking, okay, this all makes sense. I see where I can make some changes. But remember, the goal isn't to aim for perfection. It's about taking one small step at a time. If you're used to a big, fatty breakfast, try making one swap this week. Maybe switch from your usual sausage to a poached egg, or replace your butter with avocado on your toast. These small changes will add up over time, and your body will thank you. We've covered a lot so far, haven't we? Processed foods, sugary breakfast, and now high-fat foods. Each of these is something many of us eat without even thinking twice. But the great thing is, we have the power to make changes. You don't have to throw out your entire breakfast routine overnight. Start small, make one swap at a time, and you'll begin to see how much better you feel. And just think about the long-term benefits. Better heart health, more energy, and even better digestion. That's what it's all about. Taking care of yourself so that you can enjoy your golden years with more vitality. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below and share your thoughts. What's one small change you're thinking about making in your own breakfast routine? You see, it's never too late to start making changes, and even the smallest steps can make a world of difference. Just like we've talked about swapping processed foods for whole foods, cutting back on sugar, and choosing healthier fats. There are so many easy ways to make your mornings more nourishing without losing the convenience. You can enjoy the things you love while still taking care of your body in the process. Now, here's something to think about. Have you ever noticed yourself feeling sluggish or even frustrated after breakfast? It's something I hear all the time from seniors who realize that the way they've been eating is contributing to their fatigue, mood swings, and even joint pain. And you know, it doesn't have to be that way. By making some simple, healthier swaps, you can reduce inflammation, balance your blood sugar, and feel more energized all day long. One of the things I always tell people is to focus on what they can have rather than what they can't. Breakfast doesn't have to be bland or boring. In fact, it can be a delicious and satisfying part of your day. Instead of sugary cereals or fatty pastries, try adding some fresh fruit to a bowl of oatmeal, or have a veggie-packed omelet with a slice of whole grain toast. A smoothie made with leafy greens, a little protein, and some fruit can be both refreshing and nourishing without leaving you feeling sluggish. And don't forget the power of hydration. Drinking water first thing in the morning can help get your body going, kickstart digestion, and help flush out any toxins. Sometimes, it's not just about what we eat. It's about setting ourselves up with the right habits. You might be thinking, but I don't have time for all this. I hear you. Life is busy and breakfast needs to be quick. But here's the thing. These changes don't need to take hours to prepare. I've seen people like Joan, who used to think a healthy breakfast meant spending a lot of time in the kitchen, turn their routines around with just a little bit of planning ahead. She now makes overnight oats the entire week on Sunday, and in the mornings, she just adds fresh berries and nuts. It's quick, simple, and it's helping her keep her blood pressure in check. The key to these changes is consistency, not perfection. You don't have to make a huge overhaul all at once. Start with one meal a week where you swap out that processed food or sugary drink for something more nourishing. Maybe next week, you'll try adding some healthy fats like avocado or nuts to your breakfast. Slowly but surely, you'll begin to notice the difference in how you feel. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. We all have the ability to make positive changes at any stage of life. It's not about going on a diet or following some strict set of rules. It's about choosing small, realistic changes that work for you and make you feel better. It's about doing what you can to nourish your body and protect your health for the long run. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small change you made in your breakfast routine? Or what's one change you're thinking of trying? Share it with me. Let's continue this conversation together. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together, and every little step forward is a victory. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips and inspiration. You deserve to feel your best at every age. Take care of yourself, make those small, healthy changes, and remember, It's never too late to start living your best life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.